Hi guys, Jess here. So today I am going to be making a succulent mandala, and if you don't know what they are the perfect combination of succulents and OCD. They organize leaves in a very specific way that kind of mimics art, or is art, not mimics it really, but it can grow into these really fun succulent scapes where you start with just plain leaves that you just pulled off of plants and lay them out on a tray in a specific pattern based on their color and size and shape, etc. And it makes fun designs, and it's really peaceful. It's really fun to make, and if you have any sort of OCD or are just extremely organized and love straight lines or fun patterns, this is perfect. It's really fun to make these. However, they can also be extremely frustrating if you have those same traits and qualities, because a lot can go wrong, which might deter you from making them. But hopefully you'll be able to use a few tricks from this video so that you can succeed on your next mandala, because there's a couple things that will help you make one a little bit more successful, if that makes sense. So my first tip is that you pull your succulent leaves, and a lot of them, really early. So take multiple succulents and pull a lot of leaves off of them. The best succulent mandalas that I have found, or that I like, is that when you can have like rings of kind of the same leaf. And so, you know, you're not going to want, maybe you do, this is your art, so whatever. But for me personally, what I did is I pulled a lot of the same variety, like, 20 of the same kind of plant. And so like a lot of times you're not going to want to go and take your one succulent and just destroy it and take all the leaves off of it. So this works best when you have multiple of the same variety succulent and can pull a couple leaves off of each of them, because then you still have your succulent that looks well and full, and it can keep growing, but then you have a couple like stashes of leaves, I guess, if that makes sense, that you can use for propagation. So that's my first step, is just to pull a lot of leaves. Any leaves you don't use, you can put in a different propagation tray, but just make sure you pull enough of them, because the next step is that you're going to want to wait and sit on those leaves for a while. So I put them in a frisbee that I had, and I just let them sit for 2 weeks, because some succulent leaves just die. So what I've found is some are really successful and grow beautiful plants, or maybe like 5 beautiful rosettes off of its one leaf. Others just turn black or dry out within a day or two. So what I like to personally do is just let them sit for a good week, 2 weeks period, and kind of just like thin the crop, I guess, in a sense, because you're going to be able to pull out all those dead ones. And this kind of just plays back on the OCD thing of, I personally like everything looking nice and orderly and perfect. And when making succulent mandalas, I have the leaves positioned in a specific spot and a specific distance. And if one of those leaves dies, it doesn't ruin the look, but it's not what I was going for. So in order to kind of avoid that from happening as much as I can, I wait to design it until those leaves have proven to me, in a sense, that they're not going to just die right off the bat. And I know that a couple of them will die, I am fully aware, but my chances are a lot higher if you wait those couple of weeks. This also lets you just dry them out a little bit and let them callus over, which that usually only takes a couple of days, but it's different per succulent. And so if you just wait those 2 weeks period, you're pretty safe on letting it just dry, and so that you can water it right away. My next tip is kind of the arranging aspect, and you can watch me arrange it here, but if you don't know how many leaves you have, or you want everything even, this may be obvious to some of you, but to some of you it might not be. But start arranging them on opposite sides. And so I don't remember if I did this in the video or not, but if you have 10 leaves and you don't want to try to space them out perfectly afterwards, go one and then go on the complete opposite side and lay the other, and then do like a clock. So go 12 and 6 and then 3 and 9, and just start doing like the intervals in between right across from each other, because then you're going to get those like perfectly spaced out leaves, and that just is going to make your arrangement go smoother, I guess. Now for watering, I personally use my garden syringe. I love my garden syringe. I will include a link to it down below. It's only like $1.50, and I find it better than a spray bottle, in my opinion. You can control the water a lot easier. You can get more of the water to the plant all at once. And then I focus mainly on the butt of the leaf, the head. I don't know what you'd call it. So if this is the leaf, I focus on where it was attached to the stem, because that's where the baby's going to be growing out. So that's where you want, so that is where you will want to water, because that's where the roots are going to be. This will also hopefully prevent some rot in your mandala, because when the water gets sat on the leaves, or the leaves are in water and it's stationary, it can lead to the leaves rotting, because they don't have that like source from the roots, and they're just sitting in a puddle of wet soil. And so just by focusing it on the roots, you're going to be more successful. I think it's okay if water does get on the leaves, but you never know. Sometimes it helps. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you have not already, please go subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss anything. And go ahead and like this video so I can keep posting propagation posts for you guys. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.